Alright, welcome to the Stanley Parable, Ultra Deluxe. This just came out, I think a few days ago, but I've played the original Stanley Parable before. I got all the endings, so I saw this one and I'm like, hey, why not try it out? So let's see what's new and what they changed about the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Uh, I guess we'll just watch this again.
Stanley
I've seen
worked
it
for a
before.
company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
No way.
No one had showed
Not
up to give him
one.
instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Is this
In
everyone's job? They just push
the company,
buttons on the
this
keyboard?
happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh shit, I don't think that clock was there before, was it? Yeah, I remember this. What the fuck? Oh, okay, that door just closed.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Printer,
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
number one, what does that say? Dad? Okay. Thought it was gonna be like number one boss or something. Was this here before? Maybe I can open these doors. Can I open 420?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Bro, I'm seeing if anything's new. I don't know if like one of these doors is gonna be like openable.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No, we're not looking at the stupid ass employee lounge.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Time is it? It's like 11:20
Stanley
a.m.
stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
And it's incredible you haven't shut the fuck up yet.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
I don't know,
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep neglecting them.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
No buckets?
Let me prove it.
Can I get a bucket?
Prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Hey, it says no buckets, but I want to bring one here.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Key card? Alright, let's just walk through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. I would We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay then. Uh,
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
oh my God.
It's
I don't want to
very
be here,
easy,
man.
isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment,
No.
this place, Stanley. No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley. No!
Too bad. Ow.
Oh, no. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Because, I don't want to stay in that room.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Yeah. How?
Getting a kick out of it.
Bro, I must have legs of steel. My bones are like fucking brittle, bro. My bones should be in like 20,000 pieces right now, and yet I'm still going upstairs. Just make it a little further. And jump. Let's go.
It's going to restart, isn't it?
Yep.
Going back.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? They decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
What does that say?
a memo.
Oh my God, alright. I mean, it's been a while since I played this game. It's been like 4 years, I think. So,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
alright, we'll see what happens when we go to the door on his left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
The broom closet, I remember this. He gets like pissed if you stay in here.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
No, we're staying in the broom closet.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
To my boss's office. Executive bathroom? To be rich, is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life would be to have picked just one. Extreme bathrooms. Time. Okay, is there anything in here? What about here? Business strategy? Going down? Hey, yo, let's jam out. Bow, 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 bow. Where's this music coming from? Where's the speakers? Um, how long is this ride? Recommendations for the oversight committee. Why is that so bright? What the fuck? Open. Cosmetic elevator? What is this? Up then? Does this even go anywhere? Do I have to like wait in here for like an absurd amount of time? Is this some sort of thing? Come on. Alright, I don't know. I don't know if this actually goes anywhere. I have no clue if that goes anywhere or not.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number.
2568.
2845.
Oh. I thought I remembered the
But
pin
of
after all
course,
these years.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2 what now? 2845?
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the
Oh.
code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
What the fuck is that?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So, maybe we'll go to that later. I don't remember there being cameras here at all.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
You can't jump. Get your first achievement. Wow.
Now the monitors jumped.
Whoa, what is that?
Their true nature revealed. Each
Employee
was
observation
an employee
protocol.
in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Is one of the screens different there?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad, or content, walking, eating,
5.
working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his
I wonder if there's like a
began
new
to
button
sink
here.
in,
I don't know.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Yo, they should have put a fucking nuke in here. How long?
2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's
2
your
minutes.
time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now.
Oh, shit.
Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each
Random bullshit go.
more time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to
Random
start.
bullshit.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
Wait.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly.
Wait, I opened the door?
I erased
Boop,
them.
boop, boop.
Turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this.
Wait, how did I
instance of
open
the
that?
story. Sometimes when I tell it,
Beep.
I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside.
How many times? Oh, we only got 55 seconds.
I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you.
How the fuck did I open
I
that?
almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what?
3?
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
What?
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where
3.
you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
What?
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones.
Wait, is this a code?
Or this door.
Blue.
Anything, something here will save me.
Yellow.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Sold?
Whoa!
Any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment.
Bro, you put more time on the clock just so you could fucking talk more.
Catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first. So
Goodbye, employee 247.
take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life?
Fuck you, green button, bro.
Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every
Open this.
inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
Okay. And
workers were gone. What
We're
could it
back.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, the music's different. Wow, new con.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
I don't know, bro. You're the one who said you made the fucking game. Where in the hell are we?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Wow.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content.
Why is this
that
fucker explaining this shit to me,
expands the
bro?
world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. Right,
Damn, bro. Slowest fucking elevator in the world, bro. Look at this fucking rusty ass elevator built in the fucking 1930s, man.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Damn, bro. The narrator is excited.
All right.
What the fuck?
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Wow, you can actually jump? It's just spam space. Wow, bro. I'm having so much fun right now. Zero jumps? What is this?
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Surely there is, right? Another elevator.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good.
Watch it be like, I
knew
don't
there had
fucking
to be
know.
something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on
Rockstar
the
Games.
craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's
EA.
achievement, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around
Whoa.
new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Um. Okay then. Wow. I hate Mondays. It's a picture of my office.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Bro, what are you doing in here?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone.
It's so
It's where
beautiful.
I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley
Don't
Parable
forget.
was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release?
Sweet memory.
Back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched. Back then, video games had integrity. Back
2013.
then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
The greatest wealth is memory. Stanley Parable Collector's Edition. What is this, a book? 2014 Independent Games Festival. Audience Award, the Stanley Parable. What is this? Okay. See, what do we have here? 2013. I think this guy likes the year 2013. 2013, Stanley Parable. Our First Kiss, My First Car, the release of Stanley Parable in 2013. Okay. The original remake, the Stanley Parable. Buy on Steam. Oh my god. Good times. Trip down memory lane. What is this? We got a fucking disc. Smell because it happened. Stanley Parable. Oh, the demo. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. I think in another year I'll get that achievement. Unachievable. Yeah. Rewards. Los Angeles Times. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Stanley fucking dead on the street.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
Don't.
James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "We're so many games that aspire to be more than games, and not less than any form of art. Stanley Parable strives, and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Damn, that's sad as fuck. Memory zone maintenance. Okay, I guess I can't go down there. What does that say? Knowing your city, and there's a fucking cock right there.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Well then. How do you expect me to get through there, man? How do I get through there?
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor.
Oh
I
no.
haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Nope, nope, nope. Not recommended?
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be
Oh shit.
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write a
Unfunny.
handful of gags to insert
Hey, oh
into
look,
the
there's a good
Stanley
one right
Parable,
here.
but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Mm-hmm. Steam reviews. They have containers of these things. Not recommended. Blah, blah, blah. Open. Not recommended.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Not another review. What does this guy have to say?
This one got to say.
I get that it's supposed to be a parable of
Constantly
something.
have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Yo, the narrator is like why this game is good.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then...
No, I don't need a skip button, bro.
ahead for just a moment. Surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative
Whoa.
reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe...
Okay.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this.
I wonder if the clock will actually change.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley.
Oh, it
I have to
does.
say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort.
Alright.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen.
12
I
hours.
don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer.
Let's make it 24.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
Oh my god.
Yes, I have someone to talk to again.
Ah.
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
Is that a camera?
Would you think that it's exactly the same?
What is that light over there?
Doesn't
I don't like this. I'm gonna skip.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about
Oh my god.
everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me
The
describe
clock
it
is.
for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time. Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I've ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant.
I'm about to press it again, bro.
I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart.
How long are we gonna be here this time? Oh my god. How long have we been here? I think the narrator's dead. I think we, like, skipped over his entire lifespan. Fuck this. Ow! Please, I don't want to listen to that. Get it out of my ears, man.
I didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world.
Oh my god, the clock fell off. Is there water leaking in here? I hear something dripping.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
I think we got a little bit of water damage here. It's probably been like 20,000 years or some shit. Holy shit. Let's go another 20,000 years in the future. Why not? Ah. This is kind of sad. Like, I don't know why I'm just standing here in the sunlight, but like, we really want to go into the future? Oh my god. Okay, it has to have been at least a few thousand years, bro. The narrator is fucking dead, bro. He's died like 18 billion years ago. And we're about to skip again. Let me skip. Please. This is fucking... Fuck you, fuck you. What happened to the room? Ah. Okay. So, this thing that was submerged in the lake... This entire place became a desert over, like, fucking billions and trillions of years. Alright, then. And I think the narrator's dead of fucking old age. I think he's just dead. Where are we going? Uh, the end is never the end. The end is never the end. The end is never... What? I don't want to...
Co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content, bro. You added a flashy sign.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
I don't want to go on this elevator again, Art. Again? Again?
Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
No way! A sequel?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior?
Let's fucking go!
Minor additions. Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience built from the ground up. Why there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
I want the sequel drink right now, bro. I want it! Alright.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe?
Bro.
What does it even mean?
You know what's funny? I edit all my thumbnails in Paint, like, so,
Right there.
I don't know, this photo just reminded me of that.
It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Very nice, very nice. What do we got on here? It's a fucking math worksheet? I hate that shit. It's on that computer, bud. It's on here. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I. I haven't heard the full song, so I don't know if I read that. I don't know if I sung that right. Meeting at 2 p.m. From management to everyone. BCC me. Sincerely, management. I would think it would be better to email that instead of... What is that? Got some artwork here. Stanley Parable 2. Old, busted. New hotness. cool red section chart. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. They're back. 2 doors. We got 2 here. We got 2 times New Roman, 2 Road Geek, Transfer Heavy, 2. Alright, I'm not going to read all that. More TSP, better TSP, win-win, sequential mind share, the color red, leverage, paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar approach, envelope. Alright, what are they talking about? We got a Google slide here. Stanley Parable 2.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out.
This way to the show
Much
floor.
more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
New content. Let's get on this bus, man. Expo Hall 2.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
New features? No way, merch? Let's buy some right fucking now. I want to get a t-shirt. The end is never the end again. This t-shirt is the new best feature 2. Stanley Parable 2. I saw the new content. Alright, let's go to the Stanley Parable 2, the reassurance bucket. Someone laughing? What is this?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket,
No way.
orienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Open the glass.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? This and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Alright, we got a new bucket. Let's go.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Hear your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Name.
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim.
Jim.
Of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yeah,
If so, then please
I'm
step
Jim.
forward and press the button. Jim. Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Alright.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll
What?
start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
And it just clips into the ground. Okay. What else do we have here?
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Is this epilogue? Infinite hole? Sittings world champion? What's up here? Can't open that. Please, no screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Let's go with this one.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Okay then. I think my audio is cutting out there. I don't know if that's the game. Alright. I wonder if I chose the other one.
Maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Expo Hall 2 Guide Jump Circle Free Achievement. Oh my god. I don't want to fucking navigate this place. Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find them? Collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Wow.
I don't want to stifle
What a
the
reward.
intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Wow. Do I actually have to collect all those?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the whole...
I want the achievement, bro. False advertising.
Uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise.
Bro. What is with you? Alright.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
What about the one over here? Time depth. Infinite hole. Just keeps going.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's
Why would I want to do this?
falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious creations, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
So,
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
sorry, we're falling down this hole.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
Me?
I figured the hole
What the
was
fuck?
as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite?
Mostly
If that works for
infinite.
you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
What do we got in here, huh? Meeting at 2 p.m. Every pause button is a Roman numeral. Alright.
Great. Now, I'm excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Mostly infinite hole. Good change there, buddy. Okay, where haven't we gone? Oh my god, what is this?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
But... Can I go up here? Let me open this door. Okay, I don't think we've been here.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Pretty sure there's nothing left to see, man. Please, no screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Judges, I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Let's fucking go.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about it.
Let's go.
Here we go. Version 2.
Let's fucking...
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they would...
That's hard to do with the sequel. Capture the magic of the first one.
Gameplay of the original. Wait. Maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
The Stanley Parable 2. Oh. Oh my god. Then this goes forever? Let's begin Stanley Parable 2.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
Let's go, the Stanley Parable 2 is here.
To a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then
Wow.
one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions.
Oh, we got the balloons here.
Or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Yes, I picked up the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Center the door on the left, why not?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say.
Doesn't the broom closet already have a bucket though?
Cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. No.
Let's put it on here.
Calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends, that your relationship is purely superficial and convenient, that your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket.
Oh, this is really weird.
Over the years. Let him have it.
Alright, we'll give him the bucket then. Alright.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help set. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Wow!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay. Closed.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh wow, another one.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your...
That sounds so fucking stupid. A fucking Stanlerine. Another Stanlerine. Good job, Stanley.
Plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Yes, the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently.
Hey, yo, we need to get
reassuring it
a
that
tissue for the
everything
bucket.
would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Wow.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy.
We did it.
Freed
The
themselves
bucket.
from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a
What?
simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
Door.
Terrible silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. The facility had
No!
recognized the incredible calming presence of the
Throw the bucket through the
even
window.
The soothing warmth of the bucket would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What an ending. Wow.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it?
Yeah, it's the same one we walked past 86,000 times. What are you talking about? Can I take a balloon? I want to take a balloon. I want a balloon, man. Figure Finders Committee. Meet in the meeting room.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Alright, looks like we have to go to the meeting room then.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
Is there another figure in
The
here?
bucket turned out to be correct. Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Wait,
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Okay, that
It
was
should
kind
have
of fun.
alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
What's over there, man? Oh wait, another figure. How do I get there? Looks like we gotta go back there.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Oh my god.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket.
Now pick up the phone.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
No.
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
You could speak to me? Huh? It could now? Wow, guys, you know, I'm doing a house tour. Look at my house. Got some nice red carpet here. We got, like, gray stairs. I don't know why. We have a book here. We have, like, little toys. Here's my suitcase that I store clothing in, you know. Various stickers that I've collected. I've taken this place, I mean, I've taken this suitcase to many different countries, you know. Yeah, here we have many paintings on the wall, mainly of a bucket. Don't ask me why. They were like free at a garage sale, so I just took them. And we got some like stress balls here. We got a little notepad. You know, sometimes I like to write down some shit. And I have a chair that I can merge into. You know, yeah. And this is my kitchen. I have the fridge. Obviously, we need to cool food. I have shelves. I have mugs up here. We got a little teapot. Yeah, this is the kitchen. In here's my living room. I have a poster up here of jazz music. You know, it's my favorite genre of music. We got the TV. You know, there's a PS4 somewhere around here. I don't know, but like obviously I gotta play my games. And we got a bucket here. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press T to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press L?
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this,
Where is it?
obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
You're wrong. Don't listen to the loud man. Press J for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. from now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket.
Don't talk about the bucket like that, man.
The
Fuck
bucket
you,
does have a
dude.
nice shine to it.
If you believe I'm real, don't you just only press I to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket.
Where is my bucket?
It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel so need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press C to go back home. Just press C to go home to work to the home. Okay.
Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No,
What?
No, what's going on? Why do
Whoa.
I be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket
Whoa,
would tell me what to
man.
do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
No!
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
My bucket, bro. Go back to work, Stanley. No. Not until I have my bucket, bro. What did you do with it? You fucker.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Ah! I hit my fucking elbow, my armrest. Ah!
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the direct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead.
Nope, we're going down here.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What in the
You see,
hell?
your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what.
Oh, goddamn.
Let's
Okay.
do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
This thing again?
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Not the bucket. It's definitely not going to be the bucket, right? Right?
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to
Why?
introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it would be a wonderful new addition to the lore of the Stanley Parable.
I'm turning this
It
off.
not in the original game, but it's such a well fleshed out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I'm sorry, Bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it does. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly,
Oh, it's broken.
waiting. Do it for the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
And it exploded. What is this, Bucket Destroyer heaven? Where the fuck?
Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Rest in peace, Bucket Destroyer.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I want to see what happens if I don't pick up the bucket. Will, like, the ending not... I think, will, like, the ending be different? Here, we'll pick up...
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
How do I get the collectible? That was over there.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
No.
Here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No, it hadn't.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
We're going,
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
How do I get there? Oh.
Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how.
Is that a vent? Do I need a vent there?
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious.
Good.
He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well...
Open the door.
I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Okay. What is this now? Is this a bucket?
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What? How am I supposed to tell?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Huh. Maybe?
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh. Okay.
Item 3.
Is this a bucket? Oh, my mic fucking... My mic volume is all fucked. Alright, there we go. We're back. Nope.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Fuck. Fuck.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
That's a bucket.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought it was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
The overall shape of the structure looks like a bucket to me.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Let's go! Correct!
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Nope, that's a tractor.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Bro, there's no both answer.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yeah, I do.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a
Nothing
bucket?
is a bucket.
Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing.
Are you a bucket? Yeah, you are.
All I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I
You're not gonna...
erase all buckets from the game.
What?
Entirely. Okay, here we go.
We're not erasing the bucket. Fucking fuck.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Everything's a bucket? Who's on my phone?
Hello.
Oh.
This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
What? Okay then, buddy.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
Alright,
and entered the door on his left.
we'll enter the door. What if we unplug the phone? Whatever. Let's go here. Mission status. Trust the completionist instinct. No. Small floating objects have appeared across the iris.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Wow, a collectible.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines. And now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Stanlerines. No. What does that say? If I can fucking read that. Hi, Lania. I wrote this in first period and left it in your locker on the way to second. It's what all the cool kids are doing, I decided. I can't. That is too small for me to read.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket.
We gotta find the bucket. Oh my god, where's the bucket? Holy shit.
None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend.
The bucket voice that he does is so fucking stupid.
And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
Bucket's in me.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Damn. Alright, I don't know how much, like, stuff there is left, so...
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it.
50? Really, dude?
Certainly, 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment.
100 clicks?
All the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417? The fuck is door 417?
Great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Was 437 back here? Oh.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door
Yeah.
415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Now door 415, really, dude?
Now, back to door number 437. Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine. All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Employee 419's desk? Where the hell is his desk? 419's desk? Oh.
Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again. Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430. Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
Oh my god, where am I?
First, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map. until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Am I sick? Let's just say yes.
I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
What?
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton.
Alright, dude.
He did it all day in a meaningful way. But his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Alright, dude. The sequel is now paused. We'll begin the game again. Another phone call.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
I don't know why I need so many boxes, but okay. Bucket.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Okay, that just goes back to the left door. There will be a reward for finding them all. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. Alright.
To a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, this room's open again. And is this elevator working? Alright. You know, I wonder the elevator would actually go somewhere. But, like, it'd be like 5+ hours of waiting, I think.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope, we're going through here.
Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Whoa, okay.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
Oh, are we dead now?
Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life? No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. Whoa.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Ow. And I guess we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Guess all the boxes are here.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Anywhere we go. Oh, what is happening to this hallway?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go
How do we
there.
get on there?
Go to the cargo lift.
We're gonna Mission Impossible this. Oh! Oh! Was I supposed to do that? Tapes.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know.
You've lost track.
Feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
Pause. What do you mean?
This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Wow, what a weird tape. And here we are again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We need to get that collectible, though.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
We need the collectible.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Yep.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the
Alright,
meeting
we're getting the
room. Go
collectible.
somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Alright.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had... the embrace of an old friend.
I don't know how much
that stands the test of time.
more there is to do. We'll see.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the...
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket was talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you
Funny.
stop? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Well, let's go.
What is
Ow.
comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is
Jesus.
outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So, with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back. I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we have the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud? Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors,
All right, then.
they entered the door on the left.
Yep.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think...
No, we don't need to watch it again, bro.
Instructional video again.
Again?
Surely that will help me improve my...
Fuck.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions...
Is this the end?
Yes. Let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No, no. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Well, alright. I guess that was the Stanley Parable 2 Deluxe. I'm sure there's like a lot more stuff to explore, like that maybe you can get a key card and open all those doors that I saw, but who knows, I might make a part 2 on this, but yeah, I'm tired and shit, and yeah, that was a Stanley Parable Deluxe Edition, so yeah.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself.
It was cool to see all the new shit in here, so, or well, the Stanley Parable 2. Yep, alright. Anyways, later.